Yeah, exactly. Yeah, them as well. I remember those days. So
Right.
are they even allowed now? Is it hasn't it been banned, that
I
kind of
have
thing?
no idea. I hope not. But hey, I don't watch it,
No,
so.
exactly.
But I don't like when things get banned.
I'm with you on that one. I think we're probably going to agree on a lot. There is, even though I said that we're quite similar, there is at least one thing where we differ greatly.
All
I
right.
think you're a billionaire, and
I've heard that
I'm
rumor,
not.
but who knows if it's true.
Are you actually? Are you actually a billionaire?
There's two things I don't tell people: where I live and how much money I have. Everything else is pretty much
Okay,
fair game. Yeah.
okay,
Most people
fair
think
enough.
I'm a billionaire, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Because I
okay,
founded,
that's good.
I don't know, I used to mine Bitcoin back when it was 50 cents. Then it went up to $69,000. I used to have a 150 employee company in the United States 6 years before Bitcoin was invented. Retired a multimillionaire then at the age of 23. It was 25 actually. And then I founded Hex.com, which is, you know, worth hundreds of billions depending on the day. And then I've
Right.
like, we've had two sacrifice phases for two other currencies, pulsechain.com and pulsex.com. Pulsex.com is at 889 million today, sacrificed for freedom of movement. And then the other one for freedom of speech, I think that was like 600 million before the sacrifice volume ramp stopped. So there's just a lot of money in the things that I look at.
I think the answer is you bastard. You've done quite well for yourself. And how old
Just
are
getting
you?
started.
You're still a child,
42
aren't you?
now. 42 now.
40, yeah,
But I
child.
dress like a teenager, so.
I Yeah, yeah. Well, that's one of the privileges of having that money, isn't it? My grandfather, was it my grandfather or my great? It may have been my great grandfather who had some money,
Hmm.
and he used to dress quite sloppily. And someone pointed this out to him and said, "Yes, I dress sloppily because I can afford it. Uh, I dress sloppily because I can't afford it." But that's another
Right.
story.
Yeah.
So you've already answered. You've given me your kind of brief resume of
Sure.
your life. So
Yeah.
that's my first question out of the way. Um, there's lots of kind of bigger picture questions I want to ask you, and lots of sort of more focused questions on crypto and stuff. But first of all, bigger picture stuff. Are you a fan of people like Catherine Austin Fitz? I mean, are you
Never
coming
heard of
down
her.
the rabbit hole with me?
Who's that?
Okay. Catherine Austin Fitz. Well, she's kind of a poacher turned gamekeeper in that she used to work for the US government.
Yeah.
And she now sort of draws people's attention to things like the great reset with regards to where they're going to crush the economy and turn us all into slaves of central bank digital currencies.
Aren't they
Um,
kind of already doing that? I mean, you've got helicopter money has made it so that everything is more expensive than it's ever been. No one's no one's wages have kept anywhere near up with increases in prices. They take your money
yeah,
through the form of taxes and then they dribble a little bit back to you in the form of stimulus. And so instead of taking less and just leaving you in control, they make you beg for your own money. And then they basically put you in prison so that you're not allowed to move anymore. And that is a crime. I thought to restrict someone's movement was false imprisonment. You go to jail for that. Kidnap somebody, you go to jail for that. But now, apparently, if you just do it at scale with millions of people, no big deal. So now you can't go where you want to go.
yeah,
Yeah, they're winning.
yeah,
And the only good thing going on that I know of is crypto. Everything else sucks.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
Yep.
I'm afraid you're right. I was having a massage the other day because
Oh,
I've
that
been
must be
having
nice.
back trouble. Oh,
I
yeah,
guess
it
it's the
is. But
crypto and the
I've been
massages.
I've been having too many massages recently,
All right.
and the, the 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 woman who does it said to me that some friends of hers had just come back from a
Stop taking your
skiing
towel
holiday.
off. That was a terrible Asian accent. It sounded like a German accent. I don't know.
No,
My
she wasn't.
comedy
She
needs
wasn't one of those.
work.
She was actually English. Some friends of hers had been on a skiing holiday to Austria,
Right.
and in order to get out of Austria, they had to have some stuff shoved up their nose. Some
Yeah.
swabs I
Yeah.
mean, they were lucky not to get the anal version.
Yeah.
They had to be swabbed by this doctor,
Yeah.
and one of them, who had had no symptoms at all, tested positive for this alleged COVID thing.
Uh-huh.
And instantly, the Austrian authorities took him away in a windowless van
Yeah.
and took him to effectively a prison cell. I mean, it
Yeah.
had a window looking onto a brick wall. It had a rudimentary toilet and
Yeah.
a sink, and that was it. No TV
Yeah.
even. And they imprisoned him there for 6 days.
Yeah.
Now, you're right, what you said earlier. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, this would have been international news, an outrage, abuse of power. And now we've come to accept this as the normal thing.
Well, accept is a strong, I mean, I guess who we is. Yes, I guess a lot of people.
Well, yeah, not us.
Yeah. But I mean, I choose the battles I'm going to fight because this isn't going to be the hill that I die on, right? Like I've got that. I'm not going to blow out creating the world's best performing assets by, hopping on a soapbox and yelling at the powers that be to no effect, I might add. I'd rather keep building and gathering up energy until we can strategically deploy capital and get intelligent people elected. So, for me, it's a different game. For people that don't have the future of doing that, maybe the soapbox and yelling is the best way to go for you guys that maybe aren't as financially adept as me. But
Yeah,
it is. I am
true.
disgusted by it. It is absolutely, my rights don't stop at your convenience, and you don't get to abridge my rights and violate my rights. My First Amendment rights to freedom of speech, my First Amendment right to freedom of association and assembly, and that requires movement. So you don't get to stop and abridge my rights and imprison me because it makes you sad, or because you're bothered, or because whatever you're doing with your life doesn't actually protect you. That's your problem, not mine. So you can go live in a box, not me. You can go isolate yourself, not me. Like it's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're all feeling it wherever we live around the world. There are very few places that you might hide or retreat to. I mean, back in the day, I'm old enough to remember when we used to say, well, obviously there's New Zealand. We can go to New Zealand because that's nice and peaceful and remote. But New Zealand is a kind of a sort of satrapy of communist China now under Jacinda Ardern. And even in the US, I mean, presumably you are in the US.
No,
I mean,
nobody knows where I live.
There.
It's like a top secret double agent. I mean,
well,
there's tons
good.
of people that know, but just nobody on the internet.
But okay, that's fine. But I think we agree there are very few places we can. This is all our problem. Really.
Like, where are you going to go? Canada is now going to put a tax on people. One of the states in Canada, I think it was Quebec, decided to put a tax on people that didn't get the jab. You're like, okay, yeah, nice. It's like, I thought, what happened to bodily autonomy? Is that not a thing anymore? Can the government just do whatever they want to you? Are they going to start doing forced sterilizations again? Like, hey, I have an idea. Why don't we all take an IQ test? I have IQ. I'm in Mensa. And then all the dum-dums that are in office, they don't get to have kids anymore because their IQs aren't high enough. Since the government decides what's going on. And then cheeseburgers should be illegal because they're not healthy. Soda should be illegal. I mean, heck, since the government's in charge of our lives now, I can think of a whole lot of things like everyone go to bed, 8 o'clock. Nanny state, it's disgusting. People forgot, like, you never thought you'd see this stuff, to tell you the truth. And all the things that people said were never going to happen, happened. And you're like, okay, you guys, everyone that was on the side of the government lied to you over and over and over again. And who's the government? It's the guy living next door to you. And when you see the cops beating up little girls, making them get unconscious and peeing themselves, those are your neighbors. So it's like, I don't know, man. It sucks.